Yuki Tsunoda has spoken about his future beyond Red Bull, and it's becoming increasingly clear that the Japanese driver is looking for opportunities elsewhere. With multiple teams expected to have open seats beyond 2026, the possibility of a major shakeup on the grid is growing. More importantly, will Tsunoda prove Red Bull wrong for not selecting him as Verstappen's teammate? One of the most controversial topics in Formula One right now is Yuki Tsunoda's situation, and it's something that neither he nor the fans have much control over. Red Bull has chosen a driver with just 11 races of Formula One experience, someone Tsunoda outperformed in 6 out of 6 qualifying sessions, to replace Sergio Perez at Red Bull. When Liam Lawson was given a chance at AlphaTauri, now Racing Bulls, in Austin last year, the objective was clear: whoever performed better would get a shot at Perez's seat. However, despite Tsunoda proving himself, it was Lawson who received the promotion instead. Given this, it's hardly surprising that Tsunoda is actively looking for a future elsewhere, with Aston Martin emerging as the most logical destination. The Silverstone-based squad has key elements working in Tsunoda's favor, including Honda's arrival in 2026 and the involvement of Adrian Newey. While Newey may prefer to work with Verstappen, the Dutchman's availability remains uncertain, making Tsunoda a viable alternative. While he may not be the most obvious candidate, with numerous rookies set to prove their worth in the coming years, Tsunoda remains one of the youngest yet most experienced drivers on the grid, showcasing solid performances in 2024. He has outperformed both NYCK de Vries and Daniel Ricciardo when many expected the opposite, scoring crucial points for Racing Bulls and helping them stay out of the bottom of the Constructors' Championship. However, if you listen to what Christian Horner has said about Tsunoda's future with Red Bull, it becomes clear why the Japanese driver might be motivated to seek opportunities elsewhere. Discussing Tsunoda's standing in the Red Bull camp, Horner explained that while Honda is an important partner, they do not interfere with driver selections. "We are customers of Honda, and they have never tried to influence our driver lineups. That decision has always been left to the team," Horner stated. He further added, "If we can't offer Yuki an opportunity, then we have to be honest about his future. You can't have a driver in a junior team for 5 years. It doesn't make sense. At some point, they either move up or move on." With young talents like Arvid Lindblad being rumored to join Red Bull or Racing Bulls from 2026 onward, Tsunoda finds himself in a precarious position regarding his long-term future with the Austrian outfit. Tsunoda himself is well aware of his value and the options available beyond Red Bull. When discussing his future, he stated, "Maybe our team will change its name again next year, so technically, I'll be driving for a different team. Let's see. My future depends on my performance. Of course, I'd love to stay with the Red Bull family. If that means driving for Red Bull Racing, that would be amazing. But if not, I still feel very connected to this team. I've been here for 5 years, and the support from the people around me is invaluable. However, there are interesting opportunities elsewhere." This is precisely what we aim to explore in this video. Tsunoda's main goal remains securing a promotion to Red Bull Racing. However, if Lawson fails to impress, that could open a door for him. Otherwise, his most viable alternative seems to be Aston Martin. The Silverstone-based squad currently has 2 drivers with uncertain futures, particularly Fernando Alonso, who has hinted at retiring after 2026. While it would be logical for Aston Martin to start considering Alonso's successor, another scenario also raises questions: Lance Stroll. The Canadian driver has shown signs of losing interest in Formula One, a sport where drivers typically do everything in their power to earn a seat. Many believe Stroll wouldn't be in F1 if his father didn't own the team, and his performances have done little to disprove that notion. Stroll has been significantly outperformed by Alonso in 2024, with a 70 to 24 points difference, and he has only managed to beat the Spaniard in 5 out of 24 qualifying sessions. Aston Martin is undergoing substantial changes, and with Honda and Newey joining forces with the team, Stroll's future remains uncertain. Reports suggest that Newey has already held private discussions regarding Stroll's place in the team and the possibility of moving him to another racing series to maximize the team's potential with 2 highly competitive drivers. While Aston Martin's top target would undoubtedly be Verstappen, Alonso's upcoming retirement could trigger a complete reshuffling, potentially resulting in an all-Red Bull reunion with Verstappen and Tsunoda joining forces in 2026. However, regardless of what happens with Verstappen, Stroll's future remains a concern. At this stage in his career, he doesn't have much room left to impress and justify his seat. Former Haas team principal Günther Steiner also weighed in on the situation, stating, "Lance never seems happy. Whether he wins or loses, he always looks the same. Could he be a world champion if he was more motivated? I don't know. Some drivers perform well even when they're not enjoying themselves. But in Stroll's case, it's different. People criticize him for only being in F1 because of his father, and honestly, if Lawrence Stroll didn't own Aston Martin, I don't think Lance would be here either." This raises further questions about Lawrence Stroll's willingness to part ways with his son for the betterment of the team. With Aston Martin's performance expected to rise significantly in 2026, bringing in a competitive driver like Tsunoda could be crucial. Honda has expressed concerns about potential power unit deficits compared to other manufacturers, but given their experience, they are likely to resolve these issues before the new regulations come into effect. If Aston Martin begins the 2026 season strongly, both Honda and Newey could push for significant driver lineup changes to optimize the team's performance. Meanwhile, Tsunoda's other option is to remain with Racing Bulls and hope that something derails Lawson's debut, allowing him to capitalize on the situation and establish himself as the team leader, especially if Verstappen decides to join Aston Martin. Christian Horner has also hinted at Tsunoda being in contention for a Red Bull seat, stating, "Yuki is part of the Red Bull driver program. Our priority is our current race drivers, but we're closely monitoring his progress." With all these factors in mind, the question remains, can Tsunoda withstand the pressure of incoming Red Bull talents like Hauger or Lindblad and maintain his place in the Red Bull setup? Or will he be forced to explore other opportunities, potentially joining Aston Martin? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're curious about Lewis Hamilton's latest remarks on the SF25, check out the video on your screen right now.